Welcome to Home Dad Chat, brought to you by the National At Home Dad Network. My name is Brock,
My name is Danny.
and we are here to talk about life as stay at home dads. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
No, I don't want much. I even love handmade crafts made of macaroni. Come on now, you should know me. Times I might eat too much. Don't worry about my weight. Got the dad bod rocking on me. Sketches on my feet. Cargo shorts look good on me. I'm a dad, that's what I do.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to the show. Hope you've had a great week. Danny, we are officially into summer break, man. How's it going? I've seen pictures of you and your kids on the Slack line. Looks like things are in full swing in your area.
Yeah, we are ready to go. I've put on a required minimum 1 hour being outside, even if it's raining. So I just they just need to run around outside and be crazy. So yeah, we put up the Slack line because it looked really cool and it is a huge success. They just absolutely love it. It's just, my kids are very loving in their ways, but they're still siblings. And my 11-year-old is just pretty much a victim. That's just who he is in life. That's just what he's going to be for a while. Someday he'll grow strong, and maybe won't be. But my youngest, she has always been, in my opinion, the most, if I had to think of a word, just be wary of what, she's loving and sweet and wonderful and amazing. Yeah, but she's also just a little too smart for her own good and a little too crazy.
Yeah.
And no fear. What's just almost no fear, only bugs. And I mean, he keeps getting up there with her, and she keeps thinking, okay, I'm gonna fling you off, and then shakes the top rope, little rope you used to set it yourself, and throws him onto the grass. And he's just, I don't know. He's just not getting it. I guess he likes it because he keeps, doing it. But yeah, it's definitely it's kind of like watching puppies in a little fight, in a little pile, just fighting each other, just like being all cute and just learning how to, operate as an adult. And it's absolutely her just kicking his butt.
I'll tell you, I'm fine with that for my kids, as long as I don't have to hear "Hey, Dad" like every time it happens.
Yeah,
because it's like you're choosing your own fight there, and of course, your sister is choosing violence, and
right.
you continue to keep going back time and time again. So shame
you
on you.
chose this, yeah.
Yeah, shame on you the first time, or the one time, and then after that, like, it's all on you. So yeah, that sounds like loads of entertainment.
They used to say, you bought the ticket, you got to ride the bride. That's what we said when I was a kid. And it was just like, yeah, it's the screw around and find out
Yes.
thing. Yeah, go ahead, see what happens. Yeah. And I was talking to someone about this recently, that's the way I feel like a lot of dads parent.
Yes.
It's just like, look, this is the difficulties you're going to face. These are the dangers, whatever. Make your decision.
And you can't come you can't come run to me every time that,
right.
things get tough like that.
I'm just going to sit back and tell you shouldn't do that. And just wait. It's just like, I told you shouldn't do that. And it's not because I don't want you to be happy or don't want you to do things, or I don't love you, or I don't want you to have amazing things. It's because I don't want you to get hurt, and it'll look you're hurt. So,
yeah,
brush it off if you can, if it's not a broken bone. It was really, speaking of broken bones, I told them yesterday I had to come inside for a call in my support group yesterday. And I said, okay, I'm going to leave you guys out here. And it's just the two of them, but they're 9 and 11. She's almost 10. So they're old enough, I think, to handle themselves out in the yard. So I was like, I'm just going to go back inside, but don't break anything. And my sweet, darling little girl goes, we're not going to break the ground, Dad. And I'm like, you're right. I'm sorry I didn't specify. Don't break anything inside your body, like a bone.
Yeah.
Just don't break yourselves or your sibling. That's what I meant. She's like, oh, we could break a bone from this? And it was this excited little, ooh, this is a new adventure.
Challenge accepted.
Right. I'm like, do not try. Don't.
It will ruin your whole summer. Don't do it.
Exactly. Your summer is over at this point.
Yeah.
So they did.
That's one of those you wish you wouldn't have done that type of situations. For sure.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. That's hilarious though, that like she's like, you could break a bone for that? Like oh my God.
Right. And again, it comes, everybody's always like, oh, she's such a cute little girl. And, she's 3 and 4 and all that. Oh, she's so adorable. I love her so much. I'm like, you're not with her. You're not with her all day. You don't understand. I mean, she did take to heart. I told all my kids, you can do hard things. Right. I mean, this is Dad. That's kind of, that's going to be hard, but you can do hard things. And she looked at me and then has said it and then leapt into the jaws of a lion, basically. And she's like, I can do hard things. I'm like, no, that's not a hard thing. I said, oh.
She unsheathes her sword and jumps right towards the lion.
Right,
yeah.
Right.
We'll find out how hard this really is. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah. We dropped the kids off at my parents' house on Saturday. And we have an entire week of no children in the house except for our furry one that runs around and begs to go outside all the time. I wish my kids would beg me to go outside all the time. I feel like I have to drag them outside. But anyway, somebody was talking about like, oh, you must miss them, or you'll miss them soon, or something like that. And I said, no, I won't. No, I won't, because I'm around them all the time.
Yeah.
And I've had my fill. And I know they'll be back. And we'll go right back to where things were. But for this, no, like I don't miss them one bit. So it was funny because we have packing lists for the kids because they're more than capable to pack their own bags.
Yeah.
And so I guess Ruby's got updated with the things that she would need to take. I thought Hezekiah's was, but apparently it had not been since we had last gone to my parents' place. And so there wasn't anything on there that said anything about bringing any shorts. Mind you, it's warm outside. This kid typically wants to wear shorts when it's cold outside anyways to school and stuff, So it's like, I don't know the disconnect in that, but apparently he didn't pack any shorts with him. So we had given some money to my parents for whatever. And at one point, they ended up at Walmart buying shorts for him. And Corey was getting text messages from my mom and was trying to understand what was going on, and eventually like called and basically got told like, why are you calling? We don't need to hear from you till next week. I think all that. And it was so funny because I was like, oh, come on, that couldn't have been what it was. Well, yesterday, a friend or a guy that I went to college with, he's putting on an art camp with a bunch of people downtown, and he had posted that they still had slots open that they were looking to film. And I was like, oh, this would be cool. And it was really inexpensive. Like we're talking, I think it was like $75 for one kid and 50 for two, like per, if you had like two in a family, it was $50 per kid. 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. art all day long for them.
Oh, wow.
Like full art day. And I was like, dude, this is like cheap childcare, but at the same time, like they're getting to do art. Like how much fun is that? So I wanted to make sure that the kids would want to go, so that it wasn't just I'm sending you off after you've been gone for a week. And so I called and talked to him, and my dad's in the background going, what's he calling for? He doesn't need to talk. He doesn't need to talk to them. And I'm like, shut up, dude. What are you talking about? Like, I just need to ask them one flipping question and then I'll get out of here. And he's like, the whole time he's like, we got a water gun fight to have. Get off. No, just go. Why are you calling? You're messing up my time. Like, jerk.
This is grandpa time.
Yeah.
This is grandpa time. It's not dad time. You get them all over.
Yeah. So I'm just like,
that's
okay.
cool though.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, they're having a blast, and I think they're going swimming today at my cousin's house or something like that. So, but it's just kind of funny. Like I was just like, yeah, I am not totally missing them. I know they're having a blast. So that's the best part.
Well,
and we're getting stuff done here.
It's kind of like I think of it as a bucket, and you're filling it up. And like you said earlier, I'm full. I'm done. I
Yeah.
am over the top. I'm overflowing with my exposure to you. I love you, but that's enough. I just need some
Yeah.
time to maybe not just to myself, but also with my partner.
Yes.
I mean, now that it's summer, our lunch dates for Marnie and I, we just try to go to lunch on Fridays. And I don't know, maybe we will, maybe we won't, or maybe we'll take the kids to the state park.
Yeah.
Instead of it being just Marnie and I, we'll have to be, watching them do whatever they do. And, we go canoeing or something, but it's really like taking second place now.
Yeah. There's definitely a
And
pivot that takes place in the summer on how you're going to
yeah,
function for sure.
and looking for that time. I mean, I know you said that your wife is going to be in court, I think, all week. She's jury duty all week.
Actually, that changed. That's pretty interesting too, because I guess with the fact that, they send out all these summonses throughout the year, well, teachers get them and teachers
Hmm.
will push them off just like Corey did. And they had 56 people show up and they only needed like 23. And
Hmm.
so when they went through everything, like they ended up picking all the teachers, I guess, and like she got to come home. So she doesn't have jury duty at all now. But
Oh, awesome.
yeah, so she's taken a couple, like she took yesterday off and she's working like a half day today because we're going to a baseball game tonight. And it's a bobblehead night, so I want to get there so I can get my bobblehead.
Hmm.
And then I think she's taken off. I think she's taken off Thursday and Friday as well. So she's kind of getting things done, but at the same time, like not like officially working. So
Yeah,
yeah. And then
cool.
we're doing stuff around the house here, just cleaning things and that kind of stuff. We actually had a plumbing issue last weekend. That was fun. So I had to pay some money for a plumber
Always.
to come out. Yeah, it got above my pay grade, man. And I was just like, screw this. Like,
Hmm.
I was like, I'm
Well,
calling a
you
plumber.
you have to reach a point. I mean, there's some things that you're just going to have to pay a professional for.
Yeah,
You know,
I'm not gonna jack my house up just because I think that I can do it.
and
That's what happened when I opened up and saw what they were gonna have to deal with. I was just like, somebody else was like too prideful to like call a plumber and have someone else do it, and I'm just like, no, it's already
Mhm.
been jacked up once. They used electrical tape around a cast iron
Yes,
pipe to try to stop a leak,
yes. Hmm.
and it worked for a time, but I have no
It
idea
does.
how much it did a ton of damage to that cast iron, and
Oh,
it was bad. So yeah, they had to like cut all that off, and it
hmm.
was, yeah, not fun.
Yep. Plumbing and electrical. It's a very fast. I mean, you like replace a toilet. That's not a big deal,
Yeah, that's
maybe
easy.
even replace a sink, but if you're looking at even like the water heater, I'm not going to mess with my water heater anymore. I'm just not. I don't feel like, I mean, I've replaced, I don't know, several hundred of them, but I want someone that is a professional to come in and solder all the pipes perfectly, get everything right, because if there's any issues, they pay for it.
Yeah,
And I don't want to sound greedy. I don't want to sound, but if it pops, like if I did something wrong and it leaks, like you said,
it's
the
on you.
destruction, water is just the most destructive thing, I think,
Oh yeah.
after fire.
Yep.
It's going to get in everything. It's going to ruin everything. So I don't mess with it. I mean, little stuff, like I said, you can't really screw up replacing a toilet.
Yeah.
I mean, you can, but like, shower heads and all that kind of stuff, no big deal. But if we're talking about something that's going to be holding 120, 130 degree pressure, I mean, water at pressure, you do that. I just want to
Also
make
too,
sure
if
that
I've
it's
got
out
to
of it.
also too, if I've got to consider buying a new tool and
Hmm.
all the things to use for it, and it's like
Yeah.
I'm going to use it
Good
maybe
thinking.
once,
Yes. Hmm.
like why
Smart.
why do
Smart.
that?
Yeah.
It's just not
Yeah.
worth it. And then of course get asked for years and years and years, hey, when are you going to use that again next? Or
What's that for?
what's that for? Yeah, so I don't need that. I get that enough from time to time. So what are you gonna do with that motorcycle out there in the garage all the time? So um
I am blessed because Marnie leaves me alone. If I tell her I need a tool, she'll let me buy it. She's like,
oh
yeah, just
yeah,
go
no, I
get it.
mean Corey would be
It's
fine if I bought it. It's just more
it's
along the lines of just spending money that honestly could just have somebody that already owns it and knows what they need to do to come in and do
yeah,
it.
it's a better if you have the money, you definitely want a professional to do it again because of the tools and everything else. You
Right.
can't imagine the little things you run into. And even if it's just something like, oh, I need thread tape. Ugh, I got to go back to Home Depot, or whatever. And soldering a lot of times inside a house, that's fire. If you're running copper pipes and stuff, that's fire plus electrical or gas plus water.
Yeah.
You go ahead, buddy. Take that
Yeah.
out for me within reason. If they wanted a couple thousand more than I thought the job was worth, I wouldn't do it. But, you replace a water heater. Yeah, sir. It's going to be, I don't know. I think it probably $1,000 would be my max, but I haven't bought a water heater in years. So I don't know how much they run anymore, to be honest, but
Yeah.
reasonable pricing. Yeah, let's do that. I'm going to save money in the long run.
Definitely. Yeah, for sure. We also too around here, we have these things called the reuse stores, which I don't know, some places have them, some places don't, but basically like if you get somebody like contractors who are remodeling houses and whatnot, depending on what gets ordered, what shows up, the homeowner doesn't like it, it can't actually be like returned or whatever, like because the companies are just like, we're not going to return, we're not going to take this back kind of deal. They take all that stuff to the reuse store. They can write it off, as a donation to this place. And then that nonprofit reuse store, sells it and then they use it for other things. And man, that's been a gold mine for doing all kinds of little like fixer upper things around houses stuff. So
Well, Habitat for Humanity has a big one. They have like warehouse sizes. I'm not talking like necessarily Home Depot size, but huge warehouses that they just have all of that stuff in. And a big part of it, I think, is that they can use some of that. They can put that into the buildings that they're building, so they can use it, but then they can also resell it. And you get a lot of custom stuff, which is fine. If you have something like the door to my office is probably 12 inches shorter than most doors because it's the way they did the ceiling. You have to walk in under where all of the heating and air ducting is. So it's sealed up in the sheetrock up there. So it drops down about a foot just in that one section. That's where I wanted my door. I'm like, I want a door right here. And the guy's like, okay, so let me just say, once I start this job, you're gonna have to pay for it because I'm gonna cut this door. No one is ever gonna want this door again. And it was funny too for me because they came in and I kind of knew they were going to do this, but they took a door and all they did is just cut the size off the bottom.
Yeah.
Which honestly is the best way to do it. But that also means that the doorknob is a foot lower.
Oh, shoot.
Because the hole was pre-cut for the door, right?
That's
and
right.
so and I looked at it, I'm like, am I going to deal with that? Yeah, I can deal with that. I can handle that. it's not a problem. And the kids actually really loved it. Marcus was
funny.
like, Dad, they put a door handle in here right here so we can get to it. And I'm thinking, no, not to my office, buddy. No, I'm not inviting
it's a
you
Hobbit
in there.
Doorknob. This is great.
Yes, it's amazing.
This is how we get to the Shire.
But if they hadn't, I mean, if I hadn't liked it or whatever, there's no way they could reuse that. It's now complete. It's all waste, and stuff like that is really good. That maybe not that specifically, but you get a lot of flooring or countertops, things like that.
Tile.
You go into the restore. It's like, wow, I love this tile. Okay, well, we have exactly this many square yards of it, and that's it. This is we have 4 boxes. If you need more than that, they don't make it. We can't sell it. We can't make it. So it's cool.
Well, then that store was really neat too, because on the other side they've got like a vintage antique section that's fun to walk through, and always kind of neat to see like what kind of things get brought in from like really old houses and stuff, like posts and just any kind of fireplaces and things like that. But what I was not expecting when I went through there was to find out that I am an antique, because I was finding things on walls and around that was dated to 1980. And I was like, this is not fair. I don't feel, I feel shots fired. I feel them. Like I was not, I was like, okay, realization here. I'm old. Damn it.
I feel you.
So yeah, that was
I was born before we landed on the moon.
Oh, well, there's that too. Okay.
So yeah.
It's one
Yeah,
way to date it. Yeah.
that's been a great discussion lately because I keep running into people that are in their 30s and 40s and they feel, I mean, it's a rough life. You know, they're aching or sore or whatever. And I'm like, yeah. It just gets worse. Just keeps I love my life. I wouldn't change it. I love being as old as I am, but you have to do everything you can now. There's not a later. There's not going to be 10 years from now, I'll get in shape. No, do it now because 10 years from now, it's going to be huge pain in the
Yeah,
butt.
exactly. No kidding.
So, do you have any DIY projects you're doing this summer? By chance? I know you
Currently,
guys have done a lot already.
yeah, well, so we're looking at tearing out the bushes in the front of the yard and putting in like a walk by raised garden. So
Mm,
that like kind of like a community garden, where we can just put some fruits and vegetables in there. And then we have, a good amount of kids, especially little kids who go up to the playground at the school just about a half a block from our place. And so we thought it'd be kind of nice, somebody walks by and like, oh, look, a tomato, oh, a pepper. Like they could just grab it and take it with them or whatever and
mhm.
eat it. So I started that because our bushes are slowly deteriorating. So I rip them out whenever they die. And so the other day I started to put in some brick and then we put in some just like uh, uh, planter pots like out there, some big ones, and we've got some
Mhm.
tomatoes out there. So we'll see what happens out of that. But yeah, that's kind of like
Nice.
sort of in progress, but it's going to take some time for that. Other than that, like I don't really have any big projects. Our big project last year was the bathroom downstairs, so we're kind of taking a breath from all of that because I think our
Yeah,
next big thing will probably be the kitchen, and we'll completely remodel that because it needs it.
that's where
But
I'm at.
yeah,
The
but aside
kitchen.
from that, like nothing. We're just kind of it's this sort of little beautification projects, mainly just working on gardens and things like that. So
Any
nothing
big
crazy.
trips planned
Big trips planned. We are
other than Washington, D.C.?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So that's that one.
You and me, baby.
I think we're going to we're doing DC too as a family,
Hmm.
right before that. But
It's just you and me. I don't want to hear that.
I'm talking to JHG about going to a Nationals game on that Tuesday. So
Oh, that'd be fun.
yeah, I know. I don't know. I didn't know if you would be interested in going or
No,
not. So that's why.
no, not at
But
all.
I figure that's
I can I can hang out maybe before or
there
after,
you go.
but sitting there through a whole game, yeah, I'll need a book. I'll have to have a book. And
Yeah, there's no
and
reason to pay to go into a ballpark and read a book. I just
no.
no,
Yeah.
that doesn't work. But yeah, so I think we might try to do some camping.
Hmm.
We'll probably go take the canoe out on the river, that kind of deal.
Yeah.
Um, and then I don't know what is kind of Kings Island. I mean, not a lot going
Yeah.
on there, so just
Kings Island's a great answer to just about every summer problem,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. Probably head up there actually the next couple of days with Corey since she's going to be off too. So
Oh,
just
nice.
just the two of
Yeah.
us get to go up there. So yeah, water park's opened up too. So get that
Cool.
action
Very
too. So
cool.
yeah. But hey, I was gonna bring up something. So we had Kiba on a couple weeks ago, and he participated in that competition that he was talking about.
Hmm.
Uh,
Art competition.
yeah, and so he was on Instagram last week and was showing the stuff he did. Man, the first painting that he did, I posted it in Discord. I don't know if you got a chance to see
Hmm.
it or not, but like this amazing like outer space planets type thing
Yes. Yeah.
was freaking brilliant. And just to watch him like build that with spray paint and like
Right.
one stencil, which was like a cutout circle, I was like, this is crazy. Like just
It was,
the
yeah.
imagination out of that. I don't know how far he made it, but
He got fourth,
oh, did he
fourth
really?
place. So yeah, so he did really,
Awesome.
really well. Yeah. I remember it's hashtag art64, but I don't remember the actual name of the event.
I don't either.
Art64 presented by North Shore Bank. Discover Wauwatosa.
There it
So
is. Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, it was cool to watch him and actually my son and I got to watch a little bit of the stuff he was doing on Instagram and he was like, I can't believe he's doing this. And it was just kind of eye-opening to
Yeah.
him even.
Well, and it's just like you try to. I will say again, I'm an old man. I have a different, I still think my kid is lazy if he's sleeping past, oh, 7 a.m.,
Oh, well, then
I
I'm
mean,
lazy too.
right. And I'm like, well, and you're not, and he's not. It's just that old mentality, I got to get up. I got to do these things. I got to get my day going. I've got to get, I used to pride myself on having more work done by lunchtime than people do all day.
Mm, okay.
And that was just like the mentality that you had, especially coming through the 80s and the 90s when everybody was just, work your butt off, and that's the only way to be a good person. And it's just a bad thing that I need to get over, right? But I always had the thought of the starving artist. Well, you're a starving artist because you don't have a real job, you know, and that's not correct. That's
No.
not nice. That's not right. It's absolutely wrong. And I still every once in a while I look at it and I'm like, man, how is my son going to make any money being an artist? I mean, I'm glad for him, but well, he will. I mean, he's going to go into software design. He's going to go into game design, and there's a lot of potential there. And looking at Kiba's art and the things he's done, where he's traveled around the world
Right.
just to create art. And I look at it more and more, and it's been really, really beneficial for me to have him in the periphery of my life, right? Because I don't really know him. I don't think I don't think he thinks of me of like as friends or anything like that. It's just kind of like someone in the community that you're aware of. But seeing the just the trajectory that his life has taken, it
Yeah.
really encourages me, because looking at my kids and wondering, how they're going to do in life, hope they're I always want to say successful, but what I mean is happy. And I hope they're
Yes.
happy. I hope they find their spot where they do something that they love to do. Money is money. You always need more, right? I don't think anybody, even billionaires, probably think they still need money, the morons. But the reality of how well that Kiba has done and the amazing things that he creates, like you said, watching him paint is just breathtaking. Like where did that come from? I don't even know where you were going until halfway through the painting was done. And I'm like, oh, now I see the things you're doing. It's incredible. Just
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah. It was very
And
impressive.
congratulations to him.
Yeah,
Whenever you
definitely.
said that.
Congratulations for sure. So that was exciting. Father's Day is coming up. I don't know what you have planned. I know I've got Father's Eve coming up, and
Oh
the
yeah.
the organization is partnered with Fathering Together, City Dads, and Father's Eve to
Hmm.
kind of put this big event on like a virtual level. And there's quite a few cities that are involved too, which is really awesome.
Yeah.
So that's going to be exciting, and I think that it's just going to continue to build on that. I actually got the opportunity to be on a local news station and talk about the dad's group and
Hmm.
Father's Eve and everything like that. So that was a lot of
Nice.
fun. I've seen where a couple other city dads organizers have recently gotten to do that as well. So that's been pretty cool. But I also got asked, this is kind of cool. So Spectrum One, which is like a cable company.
Hmm.
So I guess in every state they have like a channel one or something like that for their state that shows just sort of like the things going on. And they reached out to city dads to have them like say, hey, do you know anybody in the Columbus, Cincinnati area, dad, that would want to come in and talk about Father's Day and stuff like that? And so Matt and Lance gave me a call and was like, hey, like, would you be willing to talk to
Nice.
them? Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm getting interviewed for that. It's like a 20-minute spot. I was like, wow, like this is pretty pretty nice little spot there. That's the longest I think I've ever had for
Hmm.
sitting in a video interview type of thing for a news station. So that's going to be really cool just to basically, it's not so much even just highlighting like the Cincinnati group. Like I'm going to be talking about the Cleveland dads group and the
Hmm.
Columbus dads group and the Cincinnati dads group, and
Yeah.
just how all that builds out. So a lot of exposure there, a lot of exposure for being able to talk about the National At Home Dad Network. So
Hmm.
because with
Oh
you
yeah.
know with talking about Father's Eve, because that was the thing. Like they were like, oh well, this won't air till Father's Day. And so they're like, we'll kind of talk about it as if it was in the past or whatever. I'm like, that's easy enough to do. We
Mhm.
can make that
Yeah.
happen.
I've had enough of them that I'm that you've had enough of them that you're familiar with
Right.
how it'll probably go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, but it's just exciting to see that, and the guys get really excited about Father's Eve and what that is. I
Hmm.
thought it was really cool after the interview yesterday. That I actually haven't posted this yet. It'll get posted when this comes out, but um, I finished the interview, and the gentleman that is always there talking with me, he has a local 501(c)(3) that deals with children's arthritis,
Hmm.
because he also battles through that. And so we've gotten to talk quite a bit. And he was like, "Hey, man," he's like, "let's get a dad selfie before you go." Like, I didn't even have to ask him. Like, he did it. And I was just like, all right,
Sweet.
like, if he's asking, like, that's really cool. Cause usually I'm
Yes.
the one that's always got to be like, "Hey, can we get a selfie," type of deal, which just made me feel that much better to be like, all right, like, he actually really enjoys
Hmm.
this just as much. So,
Yeah.
that's when that's for me, like, I guess that's like sort of the validation of, like, people in the community see this group as,
Yes.
of great importance. And that's one of my reasons why I'm so passionate about always talking to people about, like, it's not that difficult to get this dad's group going. It's difficult to, like, keep it going, and you know
Yeah.
not get bogged down by the fact that maybe sometimes, like, it will lull because you get people who are like, yeah, I'll join your group, and then they just sit against the wall and wait for things to happen instead of initiating
Hmm.
things. And that's what's tiring actually about it. And
Yeah.
I know that Greg Clapp's going to be talking about that this year for Home Dad Con.
Hmm.
So I'm excited for him because he's another one that's in a very active dads group,
Yeah.
and they've done a lot over the past few years, just like me in our group here in Cincinnati. So that's going to be
Yeah. Working
exciting.
with the diaper exchange in Milwaukee, and
Yeah,
also there, it's actually someone else I think is hosting Father's Eve in Milwaukee for the group. I think it's Josh
Mosley.
Mosley. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think. And if it's not you, Josh, I'm sorry. But I heard. But the fact that they have such a common goal of just hang out and
Yep.
just we don't have to be best friends or anything, but just that we've talked in the past, and I think if you look into, there's a lot of studies going on about the friendship deficit and the fact of how important community is for us, and how so many men don't have anything. Like, they reach a certain point and then nobody listens to them. They don't have anybody to talk to, they don't have anybody to share with. They don't ever get complimented, which is something I've personally been working on over the last month, and I'm going to do a lot this summer, is just, see somebody in a hat and go, "Hey man, nice hat." Just
Yeah.
little things like that. But the city dads groups, and of course our community as well, and Father's Eve is the perfect opportunity.
Yeah.
It's that moment once a year. Father's Day can be a little different. Generally, you're going to spend it with your family. It's going to be your kids, making you things maybe, or making you, feeding you, or whatever they might be doing, so that it's not really about you so much or what you want to do. Sometimes it's about what your family wants to do for you, right? But Father's Eve is strictly a celebration of fatherhood, in whatever way that looks for you.
Yeah.
Whether that's you as a father, or as your father, or just fatherhood in general. It's a really good moment in the year to just, raise a toast if that's what you do, but just spend time with other dads, grill some meat. That's what I'm planning on doing, grilling some meat, you know.
Yeah, every group does something different, like anything from just hanging out in the garage to, in the backyard type of deal.
Hmm.
And some of the other groups that have been doing it for a
I'm
while.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna I'm gonna do my very best to get giant bags. So, the game bags, cornhole,
Uh-huh.
but with beanbag chairs.
Oh,
So
interesting.
they're really big, and the hole is really big, and you just flinging the crap out of them across the yard. They were doing it over here at this little rummage sale at the church down on the corner. And
Really?
there's these kids out in the front, and they're probably, late teens or 20s or whatever. I still say kids. It's just,
Sure.
relative. And he's just taking it, and he's like, to throw it. And I almost had to stop and go look, because it was just hilarious to see
That's
them
funny.
flinging beanbag chairs, basically. I'm trying to see if they'll let me rent it,
There you go.
because I don't have time to make one, and I don't know where I'd get all the beanbag chairs, but I'm absolutely taking it if I can get it and may build it myself. I'm taking it to the lake
Heck yeah.
for this summer, and it's like, no, let's play. You want to play some bags? what is that, Danny? This is the bags of giants here.
Yeah.
Can you imagine, especially with little kids, they'd have to run up and kind of throw it. But yeah,
Hey,
it just
just as long as you're gonna be able to play AC/DC in the background while that's going, big balls.
heck yeah. Yes. Good choice. Good
Yeah,
choice.
it just like popped in my head. I'm like, oh
Well
yeah,
done.
that's
It's
that's me.
perfect. It's a
Hey,
theme song.
that's how it works. Every time it goes through the hole, it plays.
Hmm.
He's got big balls and she's got big balls. Oh gosh, that's a fun song to listen to in the car with your kids.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of songs you kind of realize, ooh, I don't want my kid listening to that.
Well, so yeah, kind of bunny trail off of that. So I love how, and I know that you're not a big like into like social media stuff, but
I try, but
on
yeah.
TikTok, there was like this big like push where the millennials were calling out the Gen Xers and Gen Z, and it was like they awoke the primordial dragons of the that generation because they poked the bear enough that Eminem dropped a is dropping a new album, and
All right.
he came out with his first single called Houdini, and he took the Steve Miller Band song Abracadabra
Yeah.
and used that as like the sample for the song, and it's full on Slim Shady, and he comes back swinging, and it's awesome. But what it also has done is it's opened up this like Pandora's box of all of these, folks our age who are basically like their 13-year-old, 15-year-old kids are like, who is this guy or something like that, or what's the deal? Um, and how is it that he's able to just say all these things, and so there's a mom on TikTok who she's basically sat her daughter down and she'll play like she'll show her playing the first couple of minutes of an Eminem song just to see her reaction.
Yeah.
And this little
I,
girl's eyes are bugging out of her head the
not
entire
ready. You're
time.
not ready. I've
No.
got two of his songs on I call it the Minecraft van songs playlist, right? So we got in the van. This has been going on for years. And I put it in. I'm like, well, we're gonna do the Minecraft songs. So they have Minecraft parody songs that are famous songs, but it's Minecraft, right? Okay, cool. And the kids were loving it. They love the idea of it. We have these, we actually do a lot of hand motions and dancing as we're driving. And so I put on um, um, two Eminem songs. And I told my kids, I said, look, you need to know who this man is.
Mm,
You don't have to love his music. If that's not where you want to go, I'm not going to judge you or anything. I don't expect you to listen to anything I listen to, but you need to understand who this man is and what he did for music because he's on the stage performing and they shut him down.
yeah.
They turned off the sound, they cut the power. He was not allowed to perform. And he walked away. He's like, all right. And then the next year, he won so many awards, right?
Yeah.
And he comes back and he's doing that entire song, basically dissing all these people that came at him.
Yes.
And I'm like, man, there's one thing I never want to do is get on Eminem's bad side.
Right.
I
Yeah.
want
Well,
that man to not know me, or if he does know me, to not think I'm a jerk because he will destroy me. I won't have
yes.
anything left.
Well, that's the other thing. There's a TikTok account where some of these like younger guys they'll listen to Eminem or other like songs from back in the day when we were kids, like
Mhm.
and like first reactions to them. And
Mhm. Yeah,
it
yeah,
was
yeah.
so funny because they were listening to Slim Shady, and he goes after Will Smith and Carson Daly and Fred Durst and all that stuff
Mhm.
and Christina Aguilera, and they're like, like they thought it was like something from like present day for some reason, and they were like, what in the world did Will Smith do to this guy? And it's so funny because like the comments in the comment section were hilarious. They're like, y'all need to do some research, go back and look, and because the whole Will Smith thing was the fact that Will Smith won an award, and he won a Grammy And he said that he basically is like, yeah, I don't have to cuss or talk about gun violence or anything in my music to win a Grammy or whatever. And
Mm-hmm.
like Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, and Eminem, yeah, just point your finger right in their face and see what happens. And it's
Yeah.
not going to be good.
It's just right. Yeah. And who could possibly have a problem with Snoop Dogg?
Well, that's
He
okay,
is the coolest man ever.
right?
And he is so smart. He's done like children's books and shows, and he's just an amazing performer.
Yeah,
Granted, he does a lot of stuff high, but a lot of the people I think would have a problem with him wouldn't have any problem with Willie Nelson. And I
right.
don't think Willie Nelson has been 100% sober in the last
Well, and
50 years.
he stated too in an interview that Willie Nelson can basically smoke him under the table, like. So, but yeah, that's the other thing too. So Eminem comes out with his song and everybody's super pumped about it and talking about it for about a week. No joke, the next week, Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg drop a brand new single, and we're like, oh, you have awoken the trifecta. Like Pandora's box has been completely destroyed.
Yeah,
It is the cat is out of the bag, and it was just like, oh, it's gonna be a good year
Mhm.
for lyrics.
Well, evidently I got to get into TikTok more because I don't know about any of this. And I just, I think that the only issue I have with TikTok is that I have to listen to it. It's, I have to have the sound on
Oh, yeah.
really to enjoy it. And I don't like doing that where other people are around or other people hear it. So I have to have like my Bluetooth or something.
That's what I usually do a lot of times too.
Yeah. So
Definitely.
I gotta get back into that. But
especially when you flip through them, you're like, that's not what I want. That's not what I want,
Right.
type of deal.
Marnie and the kids, the older two kids, always sending me TikToks, and they're always almost always hilarious. Sometimes it's just weird. There's a teenage thing where you just like, this is a really weird thing that's going on.
Yep.
Like for any of our teen listeners, what's up, brother?
What's up, brother? Tuesday special.
Tuesday.
Oh my God.
Right. And my 14-year-old kept coming in and doing it. He goes, what's up, brother? What's up, brother? And I'm like, all right, now that's it. I'm gonna figure out what this is and just wreck his world. And
That
he comes
kid.
and goes, what's up, brother? And I go, what's up, brother? And he's like, no, you can't. I'm like, Tuesday. And he's like, no, Dad, you can't. I'm like, right. I didn't go that far, but I'm like, I got you. Because he loves that disconnect where he'll say something and it can kind of, I don't know what it is, and I'm just like, okay, I don't know what's wrong with you today, but do you need some medicine? What's going on? But every time he gets me, and I mean, he's right, I don't know what he's talking about. So yeah, I went and looked that one up, and it was actually a teacher at I think middle school or high school, and she was walking around and she would do that. She goes, "What's up, brother?" And they would just lose their mind. They were like,
oh no,
what's up, brother? They would.
That's not who it came. But that's not who it came from. It came from.
Oh, no, it was her her doing it to them so that to tape their reactions is what I'm saying. She didn't start it.
She didn't start it. Yeah. There's a young man who started it, and that kid, he's like, he reminds me of one of the kids from Stranger Things. Whenever I see him doing it, but yeah, like he went viral fast. That was pretty wild. When you got Pat McAfee doing all that on the Pat McAfee show, which is a big, sports live show or whatever. Mm-hmm. So
I've heard of it.
Okay. Well, sports ball.
No, I appreciate you telling me. Yeah, sincerely. Yeah. I try to keep up.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's, all those kind of things are lots of fun to just be involved with. But
yeah, I'll work on it. I'll make that one of my summer goals is to become more involved with TikTok.
Well, we're gonna go be around a bunch of younger people at in Washington D.C. So right? We gotta,
and they'll be like, "What's your TikTok?" And I'll be like, "Shut up, just shut up, okay? Do you have some scotch?" That's what I have to do is I have to walk around with a scotch, and everybody will like, "Oh no, don't talk to him."
You mean the tape?
He absolutely knows.
Sorry, had to go there.
No, it's perfect. It was perfect. And then it will be what somebody will say. They're like, "Oh, I'm sorry, sir. Did you need some tape?" Mm-hmm. No, I need a drink. And they'll give me a craft beer. And I'm like,
can I have a VHS? Can I have a Scotch VHS? Can I have a Scotch tape made VHS? Like, We'll go back even
And
further.
and I find myself, well, we should tape that. No, we should record that, Danny. We don't tape things annianymore because
Yeah, there's no
VHS
such a
doesn't
tape.
exist, right?
Yeah.
There's no cassettes, there's no 8 tracks, which I had 8 tracks when I played some of my favorite Dolly Parton songs on 8-track only. Never heard of anything else.
Right. Exactly.
Ancient.
Oh
But
yeah.
I'm excited, and I should actually think about what I might need to do to prepare myself so that I'm able to step into that world of the millennials and probably Gen Z at this point, but maybe millennials too, and just get with the lingo,
Get with the
right?
lingo. There it
Just
is.
hello,
Yeah.
fellow kids. You seen that meme? No,
No.
it's a good one. It's Steve Buscemi, and he's dressed. He's got a skateboard over his shoulder. He's got a little ball
Oh
cap
my
on with it
gosh.
turned backwards, and he's in a school. And he's like, "What's up, fellow kids?" And it's just so blatantly narc. He's a narc. He's a narc. He's obviously here to, entrap us in some way. Don't talk to
Yep.
him. So, what's up, fellow kids?
That's
Yeah,
funny.
that'll be me. That'll be me and like 9
mm.
other people that are geriatric, and they're all talking about their rock collections or some garbage. And I'll be like, "Ooh, that sounds interesting." And you'll be like, "Oh, dude, the old men are together." Sad.
Hey, the other thing I was gonna bring up, so we have chosen they went through the scholarship applicants. Thank you to everybody that applied. And so we're working on getting that all taken care of right now. So um it'll be it'll be a nice smaller group of folks that are coming in. We've got 4 or 5 like brand new to the organization. So really excited about that as well.
Sweet. Yeah.
Yeah. So a couple guys who they had apparently they had in past years had applied and then couldn't go type of deal. So really excited to see that that's going to be a possibility for them this year, because
Nice.
that's the one thing that I feel, it's like they get themselves hyped up for it and then they get it and then they can't go, and you're like, oh man, like I feel just as bad as you do right now type of deal. So it's going to be nice to have, just this group of guys coming in. But that's the other thing too is I really want to put out a shout out to everybody who participated in last year's beer share, because last year's beer share, the way that it was done with the group, they raised so much money that it really made making it available for guys to be able to get to the convention is awesome. And so I know that I saw where Joe and Paul recently posted that they're changing up how they're going to do the beer share this year. They're actually going to go back to kind of like the old way, which is they're just asking everybody to bring like a couple bottles to showcase from their area instead of trying to like, ship in like 300 pounds of beer from the West Coast. But at the same time too, like I'm sure they'll probably bring some stuff in anyways, because they have that ability. But just the generosity that's involved in that whole event is so vital, I feel like, to the organization. So what a great evolution of that event to see it get to the point where, it's really kind of become like this deciding factor on bringing guys in.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah. So that's kind of what's going on. There's not really a whole lot else that I have to really talk about. I think that after Father's Day, kind of be sliding the rest of the way into Home Dad Con season heavy with bringing in different guests. I know that
we've got quite a few scheduled, and
talking
to some others, trying to get them. It's very interesting to me because it actually becomes something of a commodity. And I've had people like, "Oh, I needed that date. Oh, I should have gotten earlier." I'm like, "Yeah, you should have jumped on it when we said you need to jump on this, right?"
Right.
It's really cool though, because we're the voice of the network. I mean, that's kind of why we have a podcast, and people want to talk to the network. People recognize, who our dads are, what the community is, and what it offers all of us. And they want to get their message out to them.
Yeah.
And like you mentioned Greg Clapp earlier, I'm hoping we can get him on the show at some point.
I believe he's
talk
scheduled
about,
already. He's in
has
Calendly.
oh, good. Oh,
Yeah.
nice. Yes. Good. Cause I love Greg. Greg's just, I gotta say, there are dads that I have met, I love you,
Oh no, you're good,
and
man.
it just, and you're fantastic. And you're one of the people that I would always say, these are some of the dads that I met that really impressed me and really helped me learn about what fatherhood and what kindness is about. And Greg Clapp is absolutely one of them. He wears his heart on his sleeve, in my opinion. He's always giving it out. Everything he does is about, let me help you. How can I help you? And it's just, he really has helped me acclimate to Wisconsin, even though I don't talk to him. I hardly ever see him. He lives way out in Milwaukee, and it's not something we hang out together, but his attitude and what he's done for his fellow dads and for the organization, it's inspiring. It really is. And Greg, if you're listening, I love you, buddy. Can't wait to talk to you.
Go make him cry.
That's what I do.
It's all good. Yeah, no, Greg's a good dude. I've really appreciated getting to know him over the years as well. So actually, David McMillan reached out to me a couple days ago and was like, "Hey, my brother lives. I think he's in like New Berlin, Wisconsin or whatever.
I've heard of that.
And they're his family's going through some things, and so he's a dad that's trying to do it all and take care of his spouse who's like not feeling well or whatever. And he was like, I just need to find a dad up in that area who could maybe take them a meal. And so I worked with Greg on trying to get that all situated and getting somebody to actually like get that put together. And so David's working with some guys up there to make that happen. But that's all part of that, the network, and just, it literally is a network. Like, that's the thing. Like, I think that sometimes people are like, oh, it's just part of the, it's just a name, like in your title or whatever. It's like, no, it's actually a like working active word.
What we do.
Yeah. Like, there's a lot of action involved with it. So love that part of, what this organization entails. So, and that's what I think makes it even more interesting when you go talk to people and you get the ability to actually be like this is what we do. Like, we literally network dads together all over the country.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, hey, I hope you have a great Father's Day. I hope everybody listening had a great Father's Day, since this is going to post a day or two after Father's Day, but hopefully you had a great time. Hopefully you got that tie you wanted. Those socks you were just, praying that, somebody would remember that you said you wanted those while walking.
This is the once a year time when you actually buy new underwear.
Oh, is that what it is too?
Throw out the old holy ones that are,
So yeah, I hope you got all that stuff. Honestly, I hope that somebody bought you a good bottle of scotch or bourbon or something, or maybe you got to get that new grill piece that something along those lines.
Something that you wanted.
Something that you wanted, exactly. Or you got to do something that you've been wanting to do, maybe by yourself or with some other dad friends or something like that. That it wasn't just, I'm here grilling for my entire family. Like, you actually got to do stuff, and hopefully you got to go to a Father's Eve event. If you did get to go to a Father's Eve event, I would love to hear what your experiences was, so that I can pass those on to John Francis, because I know that he would love to hear them as well. So, you can send it to us through multiple ways. We've got all kinds of ways to get in touch with us. So, please do that as well. But other than that, hope you all have a great one. We'll talk to y'all next week.
Good night, everybody.
I'm a dad, that's what I do.
Become a member of the National At-Home Dad Network, an organization focused on providing advocacy, community, education, and support, connecting with households where dad is the primary caregiver of the children. We do this through our webinar and podcast series, mental health support groups, regular online social events, as well as our annual convention. The National At-Home Dad Network is a 100% volunteer organization. Without the generous support of its members and the community around it, we would not be able to continue the work that we do. Becoming a member gives you access to past convention speaker presentations, the ability to vote for board members annually, and ensures that the organization's fees and bills are in positive standing. Oh yeah, It should not go unmentioned that there is some cool swag headed your way if you decide to become a member. For only $35 a year, your membership provides you with the exclusive content only we can generate, and you'll be supporting an organization that benefits families all around the country and world. By advocating for them, offering them community, providing education and guidance, and supporting them to grow in their parenthood journey. And one last thing, if you contribute $500 or more, you will become a lifetime member. Not only will you receive everything already mentioned, but also a certificate recognizing your status and an exclusive National At-Home Dad Network challenge coin with our trademark logo, Dads Don't Babysit. So, what are you waiting for? Become a member today.